So there I was, walking around my house in the same outfit that I had on the day before, and I was like, F it, let's do another preview. So here I am doing my first ever Europa League quarterfinals preview, but since, as you know, this is the second best competition in Europe, that means you're getting the second best type of preview because who has time for the Europa League? No one does. That is, unless your club desperately needs to win it because it's their only way to qualify for the Champions League the following season. But, fun fact for you, and I like this fun fact, 8 teams from 8 different countries made the quarterfinals of this year's competition, and I think that's pretty cool. And do you know what else is pretty cool? Me ending this intro so that we can get to the breakdowns of these matchups already, and we're gonna start with RB Leipzig versus Marseille. And we're gonna begin with Leipzig first because with their recent win over Bayern Munich, they might finally be hitting their peak this season because they turned in a very, very, very good performance against the reigning and soon-to-be Bundesliga champions. And they're not afraid of French opposition as well, which they proved when they drew 1-1 with Monaco at home and then shocked the defending Ligue 1 champions in Monaco 4-1 in the Champions League group stages. So if I was Marseille right now, I would be a little bit nervous, especially since Marseille's form in the league has been uneven over the last 2 months, including their last match, which was a must-win at home over Lyon, since Lyon is right behind them in the table, and they lost 3-2 in the 90th minute, so that can't be doing much for their confidence at the moment. However, they did take care of a usually tough Athletic Bilbao in the round of 16 quite easily, winning 5-2 over 2 legs, so maybe they just focus in a different way and maybe more positively and more seriously for the midweek European games. I don't know. But what I do know is that Marseille have lost away games in the Europa League this season to RB Salzburg, which, okay, fine, they are in the quarterfinals too, so I can forgive that. But they also lost to Vitória and Braga in Portugal as well, and that I can't forgive. So if you factor in their league form, plus their away form in Europe, plus Leipzig peaking at the right time, plus Leipzig beating Monaco 4-1 when Monaco beat Marseille 6-1 earlier this season, and for me, and my simple math, for my simple brain, that equals to Leipzig winning this 4-2 over 2 legs. And next up, it's Arsenal versus Seska Moscow. So for the first time in ages, Arsenal have finally made it past the round of 16 in a European competition, while Alexis Sanchez has carried the Arsenal curse over to Manchester United. And during a time where Arsenal supporters don't have much to smile about, that must make them smile just a little. Like right here, in the little creases. I'll never do that again. Also, Arsenal deserve a lot of credit for knocking out AC Milan in the last round, especially because Milan were in the middle of their best form in almost half a decade, while Arsenal were on one of their worst runs in half a decade. So it was nice to see that Arsene Wenger and his players still had some fight left in them because after their loss to Brighton a few weeks ago, it didn't seem like they cared all that much. But something seems to have changed, like the gods above, knowing that this was Arsenal's last chance to win a trophy this season, really want them to win it so that the supporters have to suffer with Arsene Wenger in charge for one more season, which we all know is what's going to happen. You can feel it. However, another fun fact for you, Seska are one of 5 teams alongside PSG, Port Vale, Fiorentina, and PAOK Salonika that Arsene Wenger has faced more than once as Arsenal boss without getting a victory. So maybe there's something in there for Seska to grasp onto, but I doubt it because the gods have spoken, and Arsenal are going to win this 5-1 over 2 legs. And up next, it's Atletico Madrid versus Sporting Clube de Portugal, where Atletis are not only current favorites to win this matchup, but also the whole tournament because they've been able to impressively put their Champions League group stage disappointment quickly behind them so they could give the Europa League a proper go. And I have a ton of respect for that. And personally, I think that's all down to their manager, Diego Simeone, who hasn't let his team feel sorry for themselves, as evidenced by them having 4 wins from 4 games since entering the competition, and by scoring 13 goals and only giving up 2 in those 4 games as well. As for Sporting now, as much as I love a good underdog story, their recent form in the Portuguese league, which has seen them drop to 3rd and out of contention for the league title, and the fact that they needed extra time to get by Victoria Pilsen, there's no vowel where there should be a vowel in that word. In the round of 16, it makes me feel like they will need more than luck and bastos to outlast a much better Atleti team over 180 minutes. Also, getting back to Diego Simeone, his incredible run managing Atletico Madrid began with the Europa League trophy back in 2012. And with increasing rumors of Chelsea, Inter Milan, and PSG all looking at him for next season, wouldn't it be poetic if the last trophy that he ends up winning for the club be the one that he started with? I think That would be pretty cool. Anyway, taking everything that I just said into consideration and the talent of Atleti's squad versus Sporting's, I think Atleti wins this 3-1 over 2 legs. And finally, it's Lazio versus RB Salzburg. And I'm not sure why I'm just realizing this now, but Red Bull have 2 teams left in this competition, so I'm sure the non-RB Leipzig supporters in Germany are furious about this since they can't stand Red Bull, the company, because Red Bull run their club just a little bit different than everyone else in Germany. And also, because Red Bull's Austrian team, RB Salzburg, surprisingly knocked out one of the Bundesliga's favorite sons, Borussia Dortmund, in the round of 16. So we'll see if Salzburg can do it again now that they play against Lazio. A Lazio team that I'd like to add was much better a few months ago, but since then, they've hit a shaky run of form with 5 wins, 4 draws, and 6 losses in their last 15 games in all competitions, which has dropped them to 5th in the table in Italy, barely ahead of a hot AC Milan side who are clipping their heels in 6th. So honestly, I feel like it's decision time for Lazio. I mean, do they try to catch Inter Milan in 4th and hold off AC Milan for that last Champions League spot? Or do they try to pull a Manchester United like last season and focus on winning the Europa League to get that automatic Champions League spot instead? Well, personally, I think they have a better shot in the league given the quality that is left in this tournament. But regardless of any of that, I actually think that RB Salzburg, who have lost only 1 game in all competitions since early September, and yes, they may be playing in the Austrian league where they currently have an 8-point lead at the top, but still, that is one hell of a run that they're on, which obviously would give any team on that type of run a lot of confidence. So anyway, to get back to my original point, I actually think that RB Salzburg is the better team at the moment, and their recent form proves that, as evidenced by them beating a good Dortmund team in the last round. So I think they're going to do it again, and I think they're going to continue to ride that wave of momentum, and they're going to beat Lazio 4-3 over 2 legs. So sorry, Chiro the Hero and Lazio fans. And all right, that is it. Those are my final 4 picks for the semifinals of the Europa League. RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal. But what are yours? Let me and everyone else know in the comments, and I will catch you tomorrow from Brazil. Later.